Welcome, everyone, to the Change Starts Here podcast. I'm your host, Dustin Odham, and I am excited to welcome you all to the first of 4 episodes regarding the 4 disciplines of execution. We have had a number of guests over the last couple of years dive into the 4 disciplines of execution. We call it 4DX for short. And so as you go through these, if you want to go deeper, feel free to go back and search those episodes. The goal of each of the next 4 episodes that I'm going to do, my solo episodes, are just to give you a quick hitter around something of the 4 disciplines. So we're obviously, there's 4 disciplines. We're going to take 4 episodes to try to keep them about 10 minutes for you all, just as a reminder of what's important in each of those disciplines. We're also going to include in the notes. So if any of these disciplines stick out to you, like today, discipline 1 is about building WIGs, which we'll get into in a second. We'll have what we call a WIG builder. So it'll help you. You can click into the show notes and go download a copy for yourself. So we're trying to get better at content that we know you care about. Actually, 4 disciplines of execution is what ultimately brought me here as someone who cares deeply about getting stuff done and seeing numbers move. Having this content move the numbers in a few districts I worked with and schools I worked with is something that inspired me to come be a part of the FranklinCovey family. So I'm excited to dive into it with you. Again, I'm not going to try to geek too deeply with you. I'm going to try to give you a quick hitter so you can leave inspired, refreshed, and ready to dive into whatever challenges you're going after. So with that, today we're diving into discipline 1 of our 4 disciplines of execution. Discipline 1 is all about focusing on the wildly important. This world is hectic. As you guys can see behind me, I've got 3 kids. My wife's a chief of staff of a school district. I travel a ton for my work. It is crazy. As a teacher, it's crazy. It's always moving. As a district administrator or a school leader, it's always crazy. Things are always happening. Distractions are constant. So it's crucial to zero in on what truly matters. This discipline is about having a clear goal that stands out among all other goals. We call it your wildly important goal, or for short, we call it your WIG. So how do we identify our WIG? For educators, it's not always just about academic outcomes. It's about creating a learning environment where every student thrives. So it could be academics, whether it's reading proficiency at certain grades or STEM engagement at a high school, but it could also be attendance. It could also be discipline referrals. There's a number of things it could be. The key is to choose a goal that is so vital. If nothing else was achieved, you'd still consider that year a success. If you've been an educator longer than a week, you know the main challenge is the whirlwind of daily teaching responsibilities and administrative tasks can easily overshadow our focus on a WIG. So the question that we always ask is, how do we stay focused on the WIG? Obviously, this will require, I would say, all 4 disciplines that we'll get into over the next month or next few months. But for today's purposes, it starts with clarity. When your WIG is crystal clear, it becomes easier to align your actions and your decisions towards achieving it. And here's an important tip. You want to limit your WIGs. You don't want to have so many where you lose sight of what is most important. Tackling too many goals at once can scatter your efforts and lead to mediocre results in all areas. Something that I often did early on as a district leader, where I'd get so excited about goals and all the schools would have several goals. And at the end of the year, we would definitely make progress, but it would never feel like it was the ultimate progress. And so that's why I love the definition of our WIG, which is what's the one thing, if everything else falls apart that year, what's one thing that if we accomplished, it would change everything. So once your WIG is set, communicate it passionately and frequently with your team. I'm going to say it again because I think oftentimes we under communicate as leaders. I feel like no matter what sector you're in, what level you're in within a school district, we under communicate with the people around us. So once your WIG is set, communicate it passionately, that is so key, and frequently with your team. Every teacher, assistant, staff member, I like to say student, family member, anybody engaged with your school should know what the WIG is and why it's important. This collective awareness is the power behind it. It's the one, it helps us focus and create a unified effort. Finally, remember that focusing on a wildly important goal doesn't mean ignoring everything else. the whirlwind is always going to be there. So what this is, it's about giving the utmost attention to your wig while managing all of the other responsibilities and challenges in whirlwind effectively. So as we wrap up, I want to encourage you to reflect on your current goals. I know it's a unique time of the year for an educator, but I would say it's never a bad time to step back and make sure that your goals are intact. But specifically in this case, what is your wildly important goal for this academic year? As you think about where you're at, what is the one goal? You could have a lot of goals. Choose the one right now that is most important. And then think about how will you ensure it stands above the whirlwind of daily tasks as you go about life. As you guys dive into this, if the wig portion of this and building your own wigs is exciting to you, we've got a wig builder tool that you can go into the show notes. It's something that is very easy and very helpful, I find. We've got a lot of feedback around it, so I think you'll find it very helpful. Again, clarity is king in choosing the one thing. You can have a few wigs. There's plenty of schools and districts that have multiple wigs, so it's okay. I just want to challenge you at first. If you have nothing else, what would that one wig be? And how can you communicate it effectively and passionately with every stakeholder that you have?